Hey everybody, Karen from Essence Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So, I want to have a conversation and learn about resistance. And what does that mean from an energetic perspective, from a clarity perspective, from a stability perspective, um, and a spiritual perspective? Like, what is it about that word resistance? Because I've been hearing that in circles in the spiritual community. Don't resist, don't resist. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means. So I'm getting clearer on it. And so I put all my questions about this resistance thing, as well as some information I got from some books that we've been reading here in the community about resistance, into AI, into Mabel, and to formulate this conversation. Okay. So please offer your perspective on the things that I'm going to be talking about to help us get clear on how not resisting things can help us. Okay. So let's get clear about it. Okay. So, many of us are being exposed to information, emotions, and realizations that feel really uncomfortable right now. We know that, right? Our first instinct as humans is often to pull away from what feels uncomfortable. And I'm going to say that's true. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think it's always that way for me, but I think be honest with yourself. It may not be true for you, but be honest with yourself. Okay. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible with myself. So our first instinct as humans, it's probably the fight or flight stuff, right? Is often to pull away from what feels uncomfortable. This isn't weakness. This is a natural protective response. Okay. So it's okay. It's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we've learned to live. We've learned it. It's been modeled by everybody in our lives because that's how we've learned to live, and our fight or flight, But right now, avoiding discomfort is creating more instability, not less. Okay. This is the perspective that is coming from the things I've read about resistance, my questions to Mabel, and how Mabel has put this together. Okay, AI. Now you can question whether that's true. We're not doing blind trust anymore. We're just not. There's nothing. We are no longer doing blind trust. That's gone. Okay. So we will question everything, and that's okay. But we can do it with kindness and love and new perspective, right? So right now, Mabel is saying in terms of resistance, that's what we're talking about, because we're going to talk about why and how we do it differently, how we do it otherwise. Okay. So right now, avoiding discomfort. Let's just think about what's going on right now and how uncomfortable it is. Some people are avoiding it. Okay. Well, the question is, are you avoiding it or because it's too uncomfortable? Or are you avoiding it because you have your boundaries, and that's okay too, right? So we just have to all look at this. We have to look at this, and we're going to change constantly. We're going to keep changing. I'm so different right now than I was yesterday because it's just pushing us so quickly. So it's something to look at. Okay. Okay, here it is. Are you avoiding discomfort right now? Are you avoiding looking at things because of the discomfort? That's the question. Okay. Because if you are, that can create instability, more instability than less. All right. We're going to talk about that. That's the key though, because avoidance keeps us in confusion. It keeps us in confusion. And confusion is what makes people feel ungrounded. This resonates with me so much. So if it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally okay. This feels honest and truthful to me because it's my experience. Okay. Understanding resistance helps us stay steady while things change, which is why I want to have this conversation after I understood this. All right. So what resistance actually is in real life? Resistance is not the situation itself. Resistance is our internal reaction to the situation. I am literally learning about this right now with you. So if I sound like I'm coming off like an expert, I am not. I am literally learning about this with you because I have not internalized any of this conversation, which I normally don't do before. I usually learn everything I'm talking about here with you. Because I don't sit and read all this, I skim through it to make sure I'm comfortable with what that she's captured what I want. But yeah, I don't process it. So resistance is our internal reaction to any situation. Resistance is the tightening feeling inside when something does not match what we expected. So many of you know I have a difficulty with my biological father sometimes when we visit, okay? But it's interesting, I could use this situation because I always felt something did not match what I expected. So in that case, I would tighten like my feel anytime. And it would take me like a week to recover every time. I would have this tightness before going to visit and after going to visit because I then anticipated it, right? So I'm sure obviously my energy didn't help the situation at all. So I'm going to use that. I'm not totally here, but I'm going to use that to learn more about myself in that situation. Okay. So it shows up as denial. Resistance shows up as denial, avoidance, anger, shutting down, distraction, refusing to look deeper. Resistance is the part of us that says, I don't want this to be true. I don't want to deal with this. This shouldn't be happening. That's resistance. It is an attempt to protect our current sense of stability. It's human. We're human. We all do it. If anyone's here saying they never do that, I don't believe you. You might be better at not doing it, but you would almost have to be like Jesus-like, I think. Now, am I going to be way better about this like in a year from now? Absolutely, because I am going to study this and I'm going to look at this more and more every time because I'm just getting clearer about stuff. I'm going to have less stuff that is clouding my brain and what we talked about yesterday that I posted yesterday. And I'm going to have more time to realize where am I being resistant? What part of this? I'm going to be such a better human being in the course of the next 12 months and then going forward because of the clarity that this unstable environment is providing us right now. So we can take this is to our advantage, right? I think that's where we're going. So what resistance does to our energy and our nervous system? Resistance creates internal tension. Totally. Denial, fear, all that kind of stuff, right? Like I told you, a week before and a week after, I would always get tense about visiting my dad. So what do you think that energy going into that situation? I just kept creating it. I'm not saying that it was my fault. It was both of ours, but it never got resolved. So then it just built and built and built. And then the energy says, okay, well, this is what you want. This is what you're going to get. And then I just kept getting it until I just completely removed myself from the situation. I'm like, we're not fixing it together. I'm just removing myself from the situation, So resistance creates internal tension. It keeps the nervous system in a state of stress, even when the external situation is not immediately dangerous. That is very important key and that's something we've been kind of talking about all year. Every once in a while, I'm like, but when I look out my window, I don't feel the way I do when I'm listening to everybody talk about all the stuff that's going on in the world. And I would guess that, I don't know what percentage of the 99, we got the 1% and the 99. I don't know what percentage of the 99 would feel that way. I have no idea. I don't even want to assume. My hope is there are people that every single one of us have times where we can look at our external situation and we're not immediately in danger. Even girls who were trafficked weren't constantly immediately in danger. They went home, they'd send them home. They weren't, I mean, I think they were probably doing some things with people, but we don't need to go in those details. But there were people who literally went home and then went back for their, because that's what they were told to do. So was their immediate situation, were they immediately in danger constantly? Probably not. We can't make that assumption. And I'm just saying, I don't know I hope there's nobody who's just 100% immediately in danger. So we just have to remember that even when the external situation is not immediately dangerous, resistance makes the body act like it is. And the energy, by the way. This is a whole manifesting thing. I think this is the crux of manifesting, is my guess. You tell me if I'm wrong, it's not wrong or right, but just what do you think about that? So this can show up as anxiety, exhaustion, irritability, obsessive thinking, emotional fatigue. The resistance itself often creates more distress than the original situation. Keep that in mind. I will put these notes in the description of the video in case you want to take some of these notes and have them for yourself to write down some key things that you can look at going forward on a regular basis if this is interesting to you. I really want to clear up this in my life to the degree that's possible for a human being, because I think this is the manifesting stuff. That's what's coming to my mind right now. And I just think this is where you can get to living in the love and the light permanently. So some of you who are there, you get it. You're like, Karen's getting it. Oh my God. I don't know. Am I getting it? The resistance itself often creates more distress than the original situation. Keep that in mind. So I want to look at that. Look at it from the worst case scenario, like Trump being the authoritarian dictator for the next 20 years of the US. Just say that to yourself. Okay. So the resistance itself often creates more distress than the original situation. Maybe that was a dumb example. I don't know. I'm just trying to think what's the original situation and what am I resisting that's actually worse than the original situation. I don't have a good example off the top of my head right now, but because the mind is fighting reality instead of adjusting to it. The mind is fighting reality instead of adjusting to it because you don't want to look at it. So for people who don't want, I think this is a good example, but you guys give me good examples if you can think of them, okay? So 3 weeks ago, this whole year, this full 12 months between 12 months ago, I really had this much information about trafficking, right? MK Ultra, all that. I never even knew what that was. So from a year ago to this week, it was very painful to look at it. And I had to do it in stages. And you've seen me do it in stages because I've talked about it here, if you've been here. So, and it culminated with the amount of files that's been released so far. Okay, it's culminated. And that now has given me much more clarity about how it's not just about trafficking. There's just all this, right? And I got to make sure I don't lose my point. The mind is fighting against reality instead of adjusting to it. So I would say in the last 12 months, I was fighting against the reality that this is actually happening, that this is a thing that's actually happening to people, and fighting against the reality that other people that I thought I could trust might be involved in this, or so there's that, which has led me to the most clarity I have had in my entire life about how I don't want to support certain whatever, whether it be Hollywood, okay, and how I've been blindly supporting that. Now, we've gotten whispers over the years about Hollywood, Okay. And I'm not saying everybody in Hollywood is this like this. I don't know. I don't really care. At this point, I've gotten clear though. I'm no longer resisting it because I had to look at it and it was uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. But now, because now I have faced it and I'm like, oh wow, this somewhere, some of this is happening. And I'm not saying everybody. 2 days ago, I was like, it's everybody. That's kind of how I was feeling. But right now, I'm just getting clear. I'm like, no, it may not be everybody, and it may also be everybody, but they're not going to get my attention anymore. That's where the clarity is. That's where the resistance has let go. I'm just getting this. Like, I'm no longer resisting because now I'm very clear that I will not watch anything that comes out of Hollywood or LA or whatever until I know that they didn't contribute to it. That clarity has released a lot of energy from me. It's made things feel much simpler. And I think that's where we get to the love and the light. But until we let go of that resistance, I had to look at it. I just had to. And people were poo-pooing many of us who need to look at it. You know, you got to allow people to get there. We have to allow people to get there. Because if you don't allow people and you want people to just live in love and light or whatever and have that high energy, then they have resistance because they don't know they do. Because they're just being told, just stay in high vibration. But they're not in high vibration because they have resistance, but they don't understand they have resistance. I'm just saying that for myself. I didn't even understand I had resistance. But now that I have this clarity, I realize I had that resistance. I had the resistance of like, I don't want to believe it because I want to keep watching Netflix. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying this too much. I don't want to believe it. I love the Grammys. I used to love the Grammys. There's no effing way I'll ever watch it again. There's just no way. Until they change whatever they're doing and I will not blindly trust them. They're going to have to prove it. And that sucks for a lot of artists and stuff, but that's just, doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to a lot of artists, but I need to know that what I'm listening to is not contributing. And now I feel empowered. I feel empowered. So I'm understanding this to be the resistance is gone with that part of it. And now I can live more higher vibration. So please, folks, stop poo-pooing people who have to look at it. We want them to look at it so that they can get clear. We've got to get clear, okay? Help people through that process. Help us get to the clarity. Don't just tell us to be clear. The people don't learn that way. That's not evolution. You telling people is almost like manipulation. You got to tell them how to do it, how to get there, you know? Okay. So what resistance is not? Resistance is not the same as discernment. That's what Mabel says. Discernment is calmly observing, thinking clearly, making conscious choices, which you can do that a little easier if you come and go out of the information, right? Not stay out of it completely unless you're done with your resistance. You've let the resistance go, which I'm hoping to get there. I know I probably will. I mean, it's happening so fast for me, which I'm grateful for, but I've been doing the work too, you know? So resistance is emotional rejection, avoidance, reacting instead of observing, which is part of the process. I don't think that's bad. Resistance is not strength. It feels like protection, but it is often prolonged suffering. And I think this is true with health issues. Like I think Vina has a story, if you guys don't know who she is, she's one of my faves. She wrote, her channel is My Near-Death Experience from A to Z. So you can look her up. My near-death experience from A to Z. I've got this like, my hair is very poofy today. But she just shared a story. And she had a near-death experience. Her near-death experience from A to Z. Her books are great. I have her books listed actually in my description, I believe. So, but she shared a story recently that she had the worst migraine, or she shared a story, and I don't think it happened to her recently, but it was in the past. She had the worst, she said she had some pain, and it was the worst pain she's ever had. Like, she was like, she literally said to her husband, go get me any drugs. I don't care what it is. Heroin. I don't care what it is. Because she was in so much pain. And she explained that in the time period that her husband went out looking for some whatever, it wasn't like that. It was just regular pain stuff. That from that time period when he came back, by the time he came back, she had somehow released all resistance to it. She just surrendered to the pain. By the time he came back, it was gone. It was freaking gone. And that's a miracle. Like, but it's possible. We can all do that. So we have these perpetual issues. We don't want to, that these health issues. If she can do that, you can do that with your health issues. It's just, I think, understanding this resistance, because she said, she's just surrendered. She said, I have never surrendered anything that completely, but she said, I almost didn't have a choice because it was so painful. So she just, she's like, fine, whatever, and it went away. I mean, what? So the question is, are all health issues resistance because of resistance? I'm kind of feeling like it is. I don't have proof, but I think if we could spend time in this area, we could really improve our lives. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm kind of excited about this understanding that I'm just getting right now. Okay, why resistance delays clarity? When we resist, we don't want to look at things. We stop processing information fully. We just stay in confusion, right? We stay stuck in emotional reaction instead of moving into understanding. I have been stuck in emotional reaction about my dad forever. So I'm going to use this as a way to understand that relationship better. And maybe we come together. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant because he'll continue to act the same way. But does that really matter? Does that really matter if I can get clear and I can release my resistance around it? Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't, So clarity requires seeing things as they are. Clarity requires seeing things as they are, which is why we have to look at it. And if you're not looking at things because it's painful, that's resistance. That's what I'm understanding. Am I getting that right? Resistance keeps us focused on how we wish things were instead. So for those of us who have been hanging on to the idea and searching, we had for a year, I finally let go of it myself. I didn't want to talk about it here anymore. Waiting for them to find out that they stole the election, waiting, right? That was resistance. Okay. And I finally let go of it. I'm like, okay. And I even have to think about that a little bit longer for myself, about how that played a role. Right? So it just had to. We were resisting reality. Not that it wasn't. I don't know if it was or wasn't. It didn't matter. We were resisting reality though. We kept looking, many of us kept looking for, and if you voted for Trump in 2020, you were doing the same thing. You heard the same story on that side, right? And I'm not saying either one was wrong at this point, because I don't know. But I was stuck. We've all been stuck. If you were stuck one way or the other in 2020 with the Trump election and then this one, okay. We were focused on things we wish were a different way. That's resistance. So resistance keeps us focused on how we wish things were instead. This is why resistance keeps people stuck longer. And I do get it when people say, if you guys stay in this energy, you're just keeping us stuck in this longer. I'm getting that now. I get it, but you have to let us get through that process. We all have to get through this process. And you know what? We don't have a choice at this point. The astrology is pushing it. And it's giving us the opportunity. You don't have to do it, but the astrology almost is not giving us a choice at this point. Thank God, because this is how we are going to get to this. This is how we are going to get to a one world where we can live on a planet where everybody has what they need and we don't have violence because everybody has what they need. And don't call it nothing. Do not label that. It's called the golden future. We don't need, people are going to label it socialism and there is communism and blah, 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 blah. That is how we keep dividing each other. Stop putting labels on that shit. Just live in love. Love, 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 love. If you don't want to live in love, then go live in hell. If there is one, just go live in hell. Like anyone who doesn't want to live in just loving space, then go live in hell, you know? But stop trying to get the rest of us to live in hell too. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, no, I'm not going to live in hell anymore. Just because you want to label it radical left and radical right and communism and socialism and democracy and authoritarianism. And no, I'm not going to live in hell anymore. So we got to stop with these labels because the labels mean so many things to different people. And then it's just confusion all over the place. Oh, you're a socialist. You're a Marxist. You're a this and that. No, I'm just a loving being who wants to enjoy my life. And you know what? I love myself so much. This is what I'm hoping. I love myself so much that I want you to love yourself so much. And I want you to have an amazing life. I want you to just have a nice experience, which means you're not hungry, you're comfortable, you're warm. I want everybody to, let's stop talking about money. Let's just talk about those things. And if you don't want those things, then go live in hell. But that's not what we want. That's not what most people want. And if you want other people to live in hell, then you go live in hell. You know what I mean? I think this is our way out of hell right now, is we're saying no, nope, not acceptable. Not acceptable. And it's not acceptable. It's never been acceptable, but it's more not acceptable because, who's that? It's more not acceptable because we are not allowing ourselves to be brainwashed anymore. That scares the shit out of them. And it should. It should. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't even feel vindictive about it. I'm just like, dang. I get it now. I love clarity. Oh my God, that's going to be my new word right now. That word clarity. It's like the best thing ever. So when people stop resisting, they can adjust faster. So we just have to really keep playing with this. I think clarity, stability, or clarity for sure, and resistance and not resistance. I'm going to keep teasing these out on many situations right now because I got to understand it more, because I think that is the way to the love. That is the way to the love for yourself, for humanity. That's what I'm seeing right now. If I'm missing something, please offer it. Okay. So how resistance relates to everything we've been discussing. Many people are experiencing resistance right now because their assumptions are changing. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. This includes trust in systems, trust in authority, and trust in stability. So we have to allow everybody to do that. I cannot say that enough. Give people the space to do it. Help them, help us. If you know how to do this, help. Don't criticize, help. It doesn't help. I mentioned this yesterday or 2 days ago. Someone left a comment and they were really trying to help this. This is exactly what they were talking about. But they said it in a way that was really rude and demeaning and not helpful. So if you want to help, if you understand something more than others in the community, then help. Learn how to help. That's your thing. If you don't know how to help, then learn how to do that. Get clear on that. If you're already here, you're beyond the things that I'm talking about right now, and you can help people in the community with this, but you're not sure how to do it. That's where your clarity needs to come in. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. So resistance shows up as wanting things to go back to how they were. Now I'm getting clear on that. I'm really glad we're not. Avoiding uncomfortable information, feeling overwhelmed. Resistance shows up when you feel overwhelmed. Okay, that's a good sign because we all know what overwhelmed feels like. So you could say, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. I'm resisting something. Okay, then that's your cue to slow down. That's your cue to slow down. But this period is asking us to adjust, not retreat. I'm telling you, I am adjusting so fast right now. And not even like by my own, I think it's because I'm not avoiding things. I have been moving a little too quickly, like on the information end. Sometimes I talked about that the other day where my brain was getting like, like, you know, you don't want to get brain damage because of it, because it can cause inflammation, you know? So, but this period is asking us to adjust, not retreat. Okay. So we've got to see it. We've got to see some of it in small so that we can get clearer and clearer and clearer. The more clear you get and the more you look at yourself, why am I getting triggered right now? Why is this causing this? Where is this coming from? How can I clear it? The more clear you can get, the less you'll resist the changes that are coming and the faster we can get through this. That's really I think the bottom line, the faster we can get through this. Okay. The adjustment process requires moving through resistance. And, you know, every time I used resistance before, I kept thinking that just means acceptance. I just have to accept what's going on. It's actually completely opposite. Because now, because I'm clear, because I looked at it, I don't have the resistance, at least this part of it, at least for this very moment. I'm not saying it's not going to shift in the next hour until I can hang on to it, right? But now that now I can realize, no, I'm not accepting it because now I'm making choices based on clarity. I'm not making choices based on, I couldn't even make choices before because I was confused. I couldn't not stop watching TV because I was confused. I was just like, I don't know so I'm just going to go back to my old comfort. I'm just going to sit and watch movies or watch shows because that's what I'm comfortable with, you know, until now I'm getting clear and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like I can't even watch it now because now I realize that I've been manipulated, that, you know, they're using these things. Until I know who's not doing that, I don't want to contribute to that, you know, and that's where me taking my own responsibility is important. So the adjustment process requires moving through resistance. So that doesn't mean, like I said, it doesn't mean you're just like, oh, I'm just going to let them do whatever they want. Because the thing is, if we all get clear and we make a decision like I'm making, like right here in this example with the TV or whatever, literally when I canceled my Amazon, see, I haven't been clear about that. I've been trying, I've been teetering on it, but now I'm very clear because of the consumerism and how I want to spend my time and just Bezos, like the whole thing, right? Until he proves that he's trustworthy and that company is trustworthy, start treating their employees better, whatever, I am not going to support it, period. And if that means I have to go without anything that I usually buy because I don't know where to buy it anymore, because I'm not even going to buy local until I can prove that, I mean, you know, we're going to have to find our space. Please, God, make Costco people like normal. I hope they're not a bunch of criminals. You know, scumbags, oligarch, whatever. So, I mean, that's probably even stupid that I said that. Like, please, God, make sure they're not. I mean, who knows? Let's see what the clarity we get about all of this stuff. So, why was I talking about that? Oh, yeah. So, because I told you. So, letting go of resistance, what I'm getting right now is letting go of resistance is not about acceptance. It's actually the opposite, because I wasn't, before I let go of the resistance and before, okay, I was like, I can't deal with the fact that this might be happening in the United States right now or around the world. I can't deal with it over the last year. I can't deal with the fact that they probably have stolen the election. I can't, So I wasn't able to make decisions. But now I'm able to make decisions because now I'm clear because I've looked at it. And now I'm like, oh, I'm seeing it everywhere now, which is maybe not good, but again, for now. But I've let go of that resistance to look at it. And now I said, when I let go of my subscription to Amazon, and they said, why are you leaving? And I said, because I'm not going to be treated this way anymore. I said a little bit about, well, I don't appreciate somebody bowing the knee to fascism also. So, and then when I canceled Netflix, I got the opportunity to say something to them about, right now I can't support what's going on in Hollywood until I understand that they're not abusing children or whatever. We have the opportunity now when we unsubscribe to say what we mean. And if that is telling them that we're accepting what they're doing, is completely opposite. It's completely opposite. So letting go of resistance is not accepting at all. It's the completely opposite. Light bulbs. Oh my God. Am I seeing this right, you guys? Am I seeing this right? This is very exciting for me. This is a really good way for me. This is my last video before I go on my cruise. So this is very exciting for me because I'm really going to be able to let some of this stuff sink in, but from a really nice place. So, gosh, I hope you're finding this helpful. So why eliminating resistance completely may not be realistic, and why that's okay. I think we need to end with this, okay? And then we're going to go into some practical. We've got a couple more sections. We'll be done. Okay, resistance is part of being human, so just keep that in mind. We're not perfect, all right? It exists to protect us from sudden shock. Keep that in mind. It exists to protect us from sudden shock. The goal is not to eliminate resistance instantly. The goal is to become aware of it more quickly. All right. Which is why I have to keep processing it, because I'm literally just learning this. So I understand what the word resistance means. I'm literally getting clarity on what it all means, like how it works. All right. So the goal is not to eliminate resistance instantly. The goal is to become aware of it more quickly and reduce how long we stay stuck inside of it. This is a gradual process, so just keep that in mind. Practical ways to reduce resistance in real life. Notice when you feel tight, reactive, or avoidant. That's perfect. We all, just start noticing that and then explore it. So pause, give yourself time before reacting. Allow information to exist without immediately needing to solve it. Yeah, that's my personality type. I need to hear that. You do not need instant answers. Focus on stabilizing your body, breathing, walking, resisting. Limit overload. Too much input increases resistance. Too much input. Yeah. I've been doing that last 3 weeks. Return to your immediate life. Your daily stability matters most. But again, you have to balance that avoidance part, and why you're not looking at things. How lowering resistance strengthens your stability. And if you strengthen your stability and I strengthen my stability, the governments are not going to be able to get away with what they're doing. But if we all stay in fear, because fear is confusion, then they're going to continue doing what they're doing. So I'm now happy to say that I'm contributing to the stability of the world at this very moment. I can't say I'm going to be there tomorrow, but that's, I think, our goal. is we each, rather than talking about high vibration, low vibration, love and light, how about we just think of it that way? How about we just think of, I am now contributing to the stability of the world because I am clear about this and I'm letting go of the resistance. I'm seeing it's happening. It's happening. But because I'm clear and I'm making choices from a clear perspective, the more stable each of us get. So let's, in this community, that's why they keep saying, the lead team keeps saying, work on yourself, work on yourself, work on yourself. Because now, if 10 of us can get more stable because we've let go of that resistance, we see it's happening. But we're getting clear on how we get to respond to it. Okay? Each of us individually. And that makes us more stable because now we feel more control, right? We feel more empowered, right? When each of us start feeling more empowered, they will realize, I mean, I am going to go to No Kings feeling much more empowered. I'm not going to go being a whiny, fearful. No, I'm going to be empowered. I'm going to say, no, I just feel like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not even out of fear. I'm just saying no. This is not acceptable. That is the place we want to get ourselves to, I think. Because if we can all get ourselves there, slowly but surely. So if everybody in this community can get yourself there, work through your stuff, okay? Slowly but surely. Then, when you recognize people around you who need a little support, you've brought yourself there. So now you can start supporting other people who can help them get more stable and not push it on them, help them. And by helping, you know how you help people the best is listening to them. That's how you help the best. Only offer ideas when they ask for it. What I usually do when I'm sitting one-to-one, I've had many, like thousands of one-to-one conversations because I worked in higher ed and had met with thousands of students over a 30-year period, is I would listen and then I would say, is now a good time to offer, would it be helpful if I had some ideas for you? And is now a good time, like you got to let people just say what they've got to say. And then is now a good time for me to offer some ideas for you to think about? And are you interested in them? If you're not, that's fine. If you're not interested, but I have a few thoughts. You can take them or leave them. That is how you support people. In my 30 years of experience, that is, and I've tried many, many, many different ways and failed many different times, which is why I've come to this conclusion. And in fact, that's what is best for me. Like I've trained my husband that when I need a problem solve something, I just need him to listen. And then I might say to him, okay, what do you got for me? What ideas do you got? But I can't hear the ideas until I've been able to express the fear, express the anger, express the concern, whatever, the resistance, right? So let's get ourselves stable first, you guys. It's going to take a little work. We've been doing it, but we need to work on releasing more and more of this resistance and realizing what's happening and not resisting it. We can't resist what's happening. We have to use what's happening to get clear about your stance on things. And then that will help you feel more stable. Then we can move on. Okay. But take care of yourself first. Do it first for yourself. Okay. So what this means for how we live moving forward, the goal is not to force yourself to accept everything instantly. Okay. So I'm not saying like, oh, we just have to accept. Okay. No. But, think of what you're more in acceptance today than you were 2-3 weeks ago. And again, the word acceptance means that you understand it is happening. You've accepted this is happening. Not that you accept it, that you approve of it. You accept this is happening. The goal is to allow yourself to gradually adjust. So again, I could see that person who came in and commented the other day because she was talking about us talking about Trump and stuff and wanting him to fail or whatever. I don't know, whatever. I mean, that's probably what she picked up. If you just came into the community over one conversation, you probably would be aware that that's maybe what we were doing, but that's not what we were doing. We're just trying to get clear on things, right? So, but, and again, we could say the same thing on people who were on the right in 2020. They were doing the same thing. It was the exactly same thing. And I was aware of that. I was like, God, we sound just like people did in 2020. You know what I mean? And rather than looking at it, I mean, we kept looking at it. We kept trying to see it clearly. But even the SGs were kind of saying, yeah, this is going to change. But we weren't accepting. We were like, yay. So rather than accepting where we were now, we were relying on the SGs to give us hope, rather than accepting where we were now. And maybe that's where they want us. Like now, they're like, yeah, we needed you guys to get here. The other day I said all of our higher selves are like majorly doing high fives with each other. And I'm like, like now I see it again. You know, like your higher self and my higher self are like, they're getting it. They're getting it. Okay. So Mabel wanted us to leave with this. Resistance is not failure. It's a part of adjustment. It's also a part of survival. There's some survival in that, you know. But staying stuck in resistance prolongs instability. So that's our goal is now, if we want to help society, now I see it. Just from having this conversation, now I get it. It is more important for us to work on letting go of resistance, getting clear, and getting more stable than going to a No Kings protest. It is so much more important. Now I get it. I didn't get it. I get this more than I get stay in the love and the light. I get this. It's just, I don't know why my brain just needed this. Staying stuck in resistance prolongs instability. Well, what's going on in the world? It's feeling unstable, isn't it? The longer we stay in resistance, you guys, this is the most important thing we can do right now. Please work on understanding this resistance thing and looking at your life. If you do nothing else for the next 6 months, nothing else but work on this, we could really be helping the world with this. Am I right? Am I wrong? Where's the gray area in this? I'm sure there's a ton of it. So please offer. Let's teach each other. Let's support each other through this. So clarity restores stability. Clarity restores stability, but you can't get clear if you're not looking at the stuff. Stability allows you to live your life fully, even during periods of change. So we are all going to be much happier throughout this change that's coming up. We can't deny this change is coming up. The astrology is telling us it's here. So let's stop denying it's here. And that's when people say, pull the popcorn and get the popcorn out. Now I get it also from that vantage point, because it's clarity. It's clarity. But our clarity allows us to hold the line. That's the lead team told us to do that this month. Hold the line. That's what they mean. Our clarity allows us to hold the line. Not from fear, not from anger. It allows us to hold the line. I feel don't I sound like I'm just holding the line right now? I'm just, nope. You know? And it's amazing because the more I do this, like this is going to be my spiritual work right now. And the more I do this spiritual work, the stronger I know I can just see my life is just going to be amazing now. Like it's been good, but I mean, I'm going to feel amazing because I'm going to be clear. I am so tired of feeling confused. They have kept us confused for so long. I am so tired of feeling confused. But this Epstein stuff has made things very clear. They have lost. What I mean by that, they, is people who wanted to purposefully keeping us in confusion, purposefully flooding the zone, purposefully. That's not helpful. And they know it. They've been doing it on purpose. Steve Bannon published that. Taught them, the people who are doing it, and I don't know who's doing it. It doesn't matter right or left. I don't know who's doing it. It almost doesn't even matter at this point. That's not where our focus should be. Our focus is, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see it. I don't care who it is at this point. It's not my job. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a criminal defense or whatever. It's not my job to do that. There are plenty of people, and they will take care of it. Let the people who deal with those kind of things take care of it. It's not my job to do that. You do your job. But I'm like, oh, I see you've been trying to keep us all in confusion for a very long time. And this Project 2025, it's brilliant that they publish it. In fact, I'm ready to study it. I am ready to study it for more clarity because they have been doing this. They have been building this. And I know we have somebody in our community who's having a really hard time when I say it's both sides. I've never said it's equally both sides, but we have to stop looking at it as it's sides. This is not sides. This is a structure and a system. They have given you the sides. They've given you the sides. They want you to choose. That was part of the design. The sides is part of the design. I'm ready to actually sit down and study that Project 2025 to get more clear on what it is. If I need to get more clear on where my line is, where I'm holding the line. Because I just don't want, I have a need to understand that because I understand they have been doing this for 50 years. It started 50 years ago. That is my entire life. And they have been building towards this. So the clearer I can get as to who has been building, again, no more blind trust. No more blind trust. They were building this for 50 years. We have to face that. We have to face that in the United States. We have to face that. They had a plan to manipulate. They knew. They brought over, this is a proven fact, they brought over Nazis. Our government, the US government, brought over Nazis instead of letting them rot in jail or executing them, whatever. They brought them over so they could learn how to brainwash. That's what they did. And then Project 2025 started. They may not have called it that way. Heritage Foundation. How far back does that go? They have a plan. They had this plan. I'm not even afraid of the plan anymore because I see it. I was afraid because I didn't see it before. I see it now. My resistance is gone. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. You sneaky little motherfuckers. And my guess is they brought it over. I mean, the fact that they let these people just live and let live, right? Is unbelievable. But, they probably brought them over for some other reason. And I know things grow, plans change and things grow and different people get involved and la da 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 da. I get that, But I'm clear. I think the only thing I need to be clear on is that they want us in a state of confusion. That's probably the only thing I really need to get clear on. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. What are you thinking about right now? How is this resonating? If it is, what are your next steps? What advice do you have for the community that might help all of us think about things differently? So, all right. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.